Okay, just a couple more minutes to go. So excited to talk about this partnership. It's just, what were we talking about today, Sarah? It's like rice and beans. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It just goes together. So we're excited about this. We appreciate everybody showing up on time too. We love the prompt people. We're right on schedule. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Kind of people.
Yes, we're going to get right on time as well. We appreciate your time. You know, practitioners are very, very busy. So it's fantastic when you're able to make it to a presentation like this. I am exiting out of my Slacks. We're not going to hear that little sound. Okay. Okay, we'll give it one more minute. Just let a few more people join us. Okay. Power of personalization. It'll be a great talk. I wonder how many of our attendees have actually spoken to Sarah. Now they get to put a face to a name, which is really nice. Sarah, how long have you been with VitaminLab?
3 years, over 3 years. It was 3 years this summer, but I definitely see some familiar faces. Actually, one that I just met with a few minutes ago. So thanks for joining, Anthony.
Well, we're right at 7 o'clock. Sarah, do you want to kick it off for us?
Yeah, I would love to. All right. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Sarah. As Lydia mentioned, I am the practitioner success lead here at VitaminLab. I've been here for 3.5 years, and VitaminLab's product just makes me so excited. It's innovative, it's efficient, it's everything that practices are needing and wanting for their patients these days. So I'd like to introduce you to our speakers this evening. First up, we have Dr. Lydia Thurton. She's a naturopathic doctor. Lydia works at VitaminLab as our clinical consultant. We're very lucky to have her here. She's been in private practice for over a decade. Her primary focus is helping people of color with hormonal dysregulation and metabolic syndrome. She's been an incredible addition to our team here and will be available for formulating support as you get familiar with our platform. Next up, we have Amy Pietzarka, a registered dietitian from Previmedica Cell Science Systems, who has counseled people of all ages, specializing in digestive disorders, food sensitivities, and metabolic syndrome, as well as preventative and functional nutrition. So we have a mix of practitioners here tonight who may be new to us. Many of you have already been using the powerful integration that is Cell Science Systems and VitaminLab. But regardless of your experience level, this presentation by Dr. Lydia and Amy will provide you with an in-depth look at Cell Science Systems, micronutrient tests, and the natural next step, which is a personalized compounded formula to address each patient's unique needs. VitaminLab has been partnered with Cell Science Systems since 2021, offering a data-driven, efficient, and effective way to offer truly personalized supplements for your patients. And we support each clinic by offering them the option of either private labeling these personalized supplements or using VitaminLab's branding. Before I pass it off to Dr. Lydia, I'd love to just touch on VitaminLab's quality assurance practices. I know this is going to be a question, and we want to ensure you that this is top of mind for us because we know that it's top of mind for you and your patients as well. Perfect. So in terms of our quality assurance, it really starts with our manufacturing facility. Our manufacturing facility in Victoria, BC, Canada is NSF and GMP certified, and that's speaking to the quality of our QA processes. So in terms of testing, each ingredient that we carry is tested times during the production process. Both internal and third-party testing is done. Each of our ingredients are also transparently sourced. Our manufacturers that we receive our products and individual ingredients from are heavily vetted. We choose the most bioavailable forms available on the market, and we have over 200 professional grade ingredients to choose from. Our products are also excipient-free, so that means that there's no magnesium stearate listed on the non-medical ingredients. There's no unnecessary fillers or binders added. It's just exactly what you have added to the formula that gets sent out and custom compounded into an all-in-one formula. To touch on our packaging as well, it's carbon neutral, biodegradable, plastic-free pouches. So if you're using VitaminLab branded pouches, you will see that blue pouch there. Otherwise, we'll work with you to create a private labeled pouch as well. And without further ado, I will pass it over to Dr. Lydia.
Thank you for that introduction, Sarah. And hello, everyone. Really excited to talk to you tonight. Cutting edge practitioners. This is going to be great. Probably the main thing to know about me is that I've been working in the supplement industry for a long time, actually before they were regulated in Canada. So I have seen all the wild and wacky things, all of the amazing formulations. It's really run the gamut. Even my personal practice, we have a health food store associated and with over 1,000 different SKUs. So I really know product, and that's what I love about VitaminLab, because each doctor is going to have their own way of formulating, and it just makes sense when you work with the CNA profile to formulate something with VitaminLab. And today we'll just prove to you how easy it can be and how just really sensible it is. So I'd like to talk to you today about why it works. Anytime we're going to make a change in our workflow or interrupt what we're already doing, we need a why. We need a reason to make that change. I want to talk to you about how it works. Amy's going to actually chime in about what the CNA test is and how easy it is to translate that into a personalized formula with VitaminLab. We're going to bring up some case studies, because at the end of the day, you're working with patients and you need to know this is going to work and we can affect change and help people feel better. And of course, we'll open it up for questions as pertaining to VitaminLab for sure. Why it works, how this integration can benefit your patients and your practice. And I really want to emphasize that this is a win-win situation. Your patients benefit and your practice benefits. And us at VitaminLab, we love that for us. We are very, very happy to have both of you well served. Let's talk about your patients first. There is a general trend towards personalization, whether it's you get into your Tesla and it remembers how you like to sit, or your Sleep 8 mattress is calibrated to your correct temperature. There is a market trend towards personalization. I don't think anybody wants to feel like they're just another number or just another patient. That's not a great experience. So what VitaminLab allows you to do is to make patients feel seen, because you're creating something specifically for them, and it's actually really easy with a couple clicks. So again, it's that win-win situation. I also like that it can evolve with your patient over their lifespans. You might have a patient that's coming in with fertility concerns. You can formulate for that. And then they have a child and maybe they end up in their perimenopause years. You can formulate for that. Maybe they're 70 plus and you're trying to do some preventative measures for them. You can formulate for that. So it's really, really great. It's convenient. It gives an easier solution to needing multiple bottles. Like patients, even as practitioners, we get supplement fatigue. We've all had those patients that come in with a grocery bag of bottles and want us to sort out what they're taking. So VitaminLab is really about condensing products to make it more user-friendly and effective. Of course, we want to move the needle on patient concerns. That's extremely important. So really getting to the root cause of problems, solving for these micronutrient deficiencies so that patients can move on and live really healthy, thriving lives. It also improves compliance, because when people feel better, they stick with our plan, right? And it creates connection, because again, patients don't want to feel like they're just another number. They want something special for them, and they want us to remember that they have a dog named Shirley. They want us to remember they don't get along with their mother-in-law. Like, that's part of our job in creating an excellent patient experience. So just creating that deeper connection with creating a personalized supplement is such an easy way to say, I see you as an individual. You're a unique patient to me, and I want to take as good care of you as I possibly can. And of course, this needs to benefit your practice at the end of the day, because you need to have a thriving business that makes sense for you, that isn't stressful for you. The more people you can help, it's just, again, this win-win. So revenue, of course, we're running businesses, we need to make money. So this is a subscription-based formula, which creates ongoing revenue for you. You can set refills and just have things automated. We handle a lot of shipping. We have an excellent customer experience. So when patients have concerns and they reach out to us, you can rest assured that we're taking care of your patients. It's convenient. Of course, you need convenience. And what we're going to prove to you tonight is how easy it is to go from your CNA profile to a VitaminLab product with literally a click. So it couldn't be easier. And of course, you can edit things, but it's super easy. It's exclusive. So what I really like for the practitioners that I'm working with is for them to be making products that their patients can't find anywhere else. I have my reasoning on this. You know, the market of supplements is changing. A lot of big retailers, Amazon, Whole Foods, Walmart, are selling products out there, and we really would benefit from having our own things, our private labeled things, because we can white label your products, even if you're just ordering one at a time. So these are all really important factors to consider. Flexible, each of you, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know how you should be practicing. Like, each of us has our own style of practice, how we like to combine ingredients. And so the fact that we have over 200 professional ingredients allows you to do just that. And better results for our patients, but also better results with our treatment plans, because we see increased compliance when patients are not burned out with having to take multiple bottles of supplements and they run out of something and they're confused and they're standing in Whole Foods in front of a shelf of supplements like, oh, what did Dr. Lydia say to take? Like, we want to avoid that complete disaster. So better compliance means that you can set a treatment plan and have a patient follow through with that. And what relief that is. I'm sure we've all been there. We create the best plan and the patient doesn't do it. Well, you know, how good was that plan really? Okay, so Amy, I'm going to throw it to you to talk about how it works, how the CNA and supplement profile looks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Lydia, for that. And Sarah, thank you so much for introducing me. Your comment about the mother-in-law, Lydia, made me laugh. I have 2 new daughters-in-law, and I hope they're not saying that about their new mother-in-law. So okay, looking at why am I here? A little bit more about me. I oversee a nutrition team for PreviMedica, and we are the sister company to Cell Science Systems, who, as you know, most of you know, is a laboratory who does functional nutrition testing, and this is one of the tests that what we're looking at now. The cellular nutrition assay, one of the tests that Cell Science Systems offers. So the cellular nutrition assay consists of 3 parts: the CMA, which is the cellular micronutrient assay, the redox assay, and the APA, which is the antioxidant protection assay. So the CMA, the micronutrient assay, this assay determines the nutrient status within cells. And why is this important to assess? Well, as you know, nutrients do their jobs within the cells. Metabolism happens within cells. We know that when regular blood work is done, and let's say B12 is measured, that level would be an indication of what that status is outside of the cells and short term. Whereas the CMA, the micronutrient assay, gives us an indication of the nutrient status over a longer period of time, probably about a previous 6 to 9 months or so prior to the test. And now the types of cells that are used for this assay are the lymphocytes. So when the specimen arrives to the laboratory, the lymphocytes are separated from the patient's whole blood. And then what's determined for every patient's cell specimen first is the baseline activity rate of the cells. But they do that by taking the patient's lymphocytes, adding a mitosis generator to the specimen, and that determines the baseline activity of the cells, and that acts as the patient's control. So that's done for everybody. Everybody's baseline activity rate is different. Lydia's is different from mine. We're different from Sarah. We're all different. So that's what's nice about this test, is that baseline activity acts as the control for each patient's test. Now for the CMA, what we're looking at here is the front page. And there are 55 nutrients tested in this micronutrient assay. So in the lab, there will be 55 different specimens of the patient's lymphocytes. To each specimen, the one variable will be the addition of a different nutrient. So they'll add biotin to this one, and delta-tocotrienol to the next one, and so on. And then they watch to see the change in the activity of the cells. And that activity is always compared to the patient's baseline cellular activity. So if we look at the key at the bottom of the bottom left of this first page, you'll see that the green area, that is actually representing the baseline activity rate, and it goes up to 109% of the baseline. So whenever a nutrient is added and it keeps the activity of the cells within the baseline, that is considered a sufficiency, that there's enough of that particular nutrient in that cell specimen. Any nutrient that was added that increased the activity of the cells from the 110% of the baseline up to 119%, that's considered a borderline insufficiency. And then you see on this key here, the red, that would represent 120% of the baseline or higher. And whenever a nutrient has that impact on the increase in the activity of the cells, that would be considered an insufficiency. Now, when the addition, when the addition of the nutrient increased the number of the cells, the growth rate, and the number of the mitochondria in the cells, that's a good response. But it also means that there was not enough of that particular nutrient in the original specimen. Otherwise, it would not have had that impact. Now, notice when you look, if you look a little, if we go back more so into the first page, you'll see that, well, you see how it's called insufficiencies, right, rather than deficiency. And the reason for that is we're really not looking for symptoms of overt deficiencies necessarily. And I always like to use vitamin C as an example. We're really not looking for symptoms of scurvy. So think of it more so as a subclinical deficiency. And here again, this is why they're called insufficiencies. And then, of course, the insufficiencies of these particular nutrients could certainly be impacting what the patient has going on medically, or the symptoms that the patient may be reporting. Now, it's not to say that there definitely has to be problems associated with these insufficiencies right away, but if we do not replete them, there certainly will be. Now, what you want to do, and what we do, is we want to search for patterns in these insufficiencies that relate to what the patient, to relate to anything, but especially what the patient has going on. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see the commentary listed for every nutrient that is insufficient or borderline insufficient. So this is nice to help you, connect the dots with what your patient has going on, and it'll describe for you, what the nutrients are important for, also good food sources. And of course, when you're repleting, we do want people to start with foods first. And again, connecting the dots is very important here. We want to look for patterns, and we want to know, figure out why these insufficiencies are happening before we can really know how to go about repleting. I don't want to forget to mention to everyone, to remind you about Dr. Grabowski, Dr. Ron Grabowski. I consider him to be the expert in cellular micronutrient assessment and interpretation and all things nutrition guidance. He conducts monthly webinars, educational webinars on this topic, different nutrient statuses and insufficiencies and how they relate to certain medical conditions and diagnoses. He's also available to meet with practitioners to help you make these connections and help you to interpret these results and suggest how to go about repleting these nutrients. So before we really know how to go about repleting, we also need to help figure out why are these nutrients insufficient? Why is the supply not keeping up with the demand? Could it be something so easy that person's just not eating enough of the foods that are good sources of the nutrients that they're insufficient in? That's easy to address, of course. Could it be that there's poor digestion, absorption? We need to maybe provide some digestive support. Could the patient be taking medications that are interfering with the nutrient status? It could be a combination of these things, of course. What about genetic variants that are could be impacting the availability of certain nutrients? Maybe the patient is supplementing, but take a look at the supplement that's being taken, and there's an inadequate amount of the particular nutrient or the wrong form, not the active form, for example. So these are all questions to ask yourself as you are determining how it's best to go about repleting these nutrients. So again, the commentary that you see listed there helps to kind of connect the dots and look at the food sources and start with foods first. Now, there also is a booklet that comes along with this assay that describes every nutrient that's tested here, not just what's in the report, which tells you, it's just showing you what nutrients are insufficient or borderline insufficient. So that's the cellular micronutrient assay. Now,
Amy, we do have a question, if I'm able to ask here. The question is from Christy. She's wondering if the CNA is triple tested or just one time.
I don't know the answer to that, actually. I should know. I can certainly find out, but I don't know how many times they do it. I want to say it's probably checked and double checked, and they look at different specimens and do it a number of times. I can imagine it's only done once, but I don't know exactly how many times it's done.
Thank
you. The next part of the assay is the redox score. So now this is, as you know, we keep going. Yeah, there we go. So top of that page. So the top of the page there where you see the redox score, and then you see this number 98 for this patient's test results. So as you know, even as hard as we try to avoid free radicals, if we don't smoke, don't drink too much alcohol, we avoid pesticides and environmental chemicals and so forth. We do our best to avoid free radicals, but we're still being exposed to free radicals, just living and eating and breathing in our world. And of course, stress and poor sleep contributes free radicals to it as well. So our cells need to be protecting themselves from free radical damage and the oxidative stress that they create. So this test is determining the patient's cellular antioxidant capacity, the redox score, and how well the patient's cells are doing with protecting themselves from oxidative damage on their own without adding any antioxidants to them. So determining how well the patient's cells are going to protect themselves from dying off. And then, of course, that would increase the risk of chronic disease. So what's happening in this assay is the cells are purposely put into the state of oxidative stress. But what they do is they add a free radical generating system. They'll take one specimen of the cell and add a free radical generating system to the one specimen. And then, of course, the system is challenging these cells. They're incubated with the cells for 2 days. So the way you read this is on day one, there was 100%, there were 100% of the cells in the specimen. After 2 days of being in the free radical generating system, this patient only went down to 98%, only lost 2% of the cells. And then you see on that red, light blue, and dark blue bar there, that white diamond represents the 98 for this patient, and then is plotted. That plot there is comparing to a sample population, and of course, that really would be considered above average, right? That's a really good redox score. So now you're not always going to see a good score like that. You could see in the 70s and 80s and so forth. So, what I'd be saying to this patient is, okay, great. Let's see how we can keep that redox score great like this. And to other patients, I'm saying, all right, let's see how we can get your redox score, your antioxidant capacity improved. And that's where the next assay comes in. What you see here in the light blue, the light green, and the dark green bars, the antioxidant protection assay. So what's happening here is the same gradient score as you saw in the first assay. You saw, the far left was the dark green. That was the baseline. Yellow area was a little bit increase in activity of the cells. The far right was red, increase, a significant increase in the cells. Same here, but different colors. And the reason for that is this assay is not telling you what the patient is insufficient in within the cells. It's telling you which botanical antioxidants or nutrients will be the most protective as antioxidants for the patient. So you can individualize the patient's antioxidant routine, which antioxidants you suggest for the patient. So what happens here, there are 49 different specimens of the cells, because there are 49 botanicals and nutrients that are assessed here. Now, in every specimen, the difference with this assay is the cells are still in that free radical generating system, right? So they're in that free radical generating system. So now to each specimen that's in the free radical generating system, they will add a different botanical, antioxidant botanical, or antioxidant nutrient. So what they're looking at here is, which nutrients not only prevented the cells from dying, and kept them in the baseline area, but which ones actually enhanced the metabolic activity of the cells, even while they were in the free radical generating system. So, and that's why you'll see it's really enhanced the activity, to 120% or above the baseline activity of the cells. They call that highly protective. And that's what that means. And then the light green area, which is the borderline, would be protective. So this is how you can also individualize the antioxidants that are suggested for the patient. Now, one question that you'll get is, should I take all of these? And my answer is no. It's probably best that you not take, 20 different antioxidants, but and of course, we'll talk about how to individualize the supplement routine later, but your patient best, and which antioxidants would be better tolerated, what medications they might be taking, because that is also something to consider when you are formulating the supplement and which antioxidants you are going to suggest. So that is the antioxidant protection assay. Now, when you order and then of course there's a commentary here too. It tells you all the antioxidants that came out to be protective or highly protective, where they come from, what they're important for, how to get it, that sort of thing. What the source is. It's just a description and what they would be beneficial for in the prevention, possibly the prevention or different approaches for different medical conditions. So that's also helpful to read that commentary. Now, when you order the cellular nutrition assay and you go on your Cell Science Systems portal, when you go to access the cellular nutrition assay test results, you'll also see a PDF of a supplement formula. And this is an example of one. And this formula actually goes with that test result that we just looked at. So what this is about is taking the results from the cellular nutrition assay and listing all the nutrients that came out to be insufficient or borderline insufficient. And it'll tell you, we included biotin in the formula. Why? Because it was insufficient. in the CNA. We included boswellia. Why? Because it came out to be highly protective, right? So it gives you the reason there. Now you might, the doses here, honestly, I feel are pretty conservative. And this is why it's made to be, you click on the VitaminLab order here, and you'll be taken to the VitaminLab your portal, this exact formula that you're working on for your patient. You alter the formula how you would like it to be, because you know your patient better than the computer, of course, that's generating this report. But it is based on what the cellular nutrition assay results are. So that's what the PDF looks like. And what this is over here, where it says recommended exclusions, one of the things that I think is really nice about what Cell Science Systems has done is if you use the ALCAT test or the methyl detox profile at the same time that you're doing this test, it'll factor in that information from the test. And so here's an example. You'll see reactive or untested in the ALCAT test. So I know that this patient did not test for ginkgo and goji, maitake, and moringa in the ALCAT test. So in keeping with food sensitivity recommendations, we want people not to consume what they were not tested for. So that's why they were not included in the formula. Garlic was not included in this formula because the patient did react to garlic in the ALCAT test. And, we suggest that, avoiding the reactive foods would take priority over including something like that in the formula, because you have other antioxidants to choose from. So that's what that means over there. If you're not including the methyl detox test or the ALCAT test, of course, there'll be that area will be blank. And then here again, what's nice about this is you'll be, and Lydia is going to show you on the portal, on the VitaminLab portal, how you would do this. But again, you know your patient best, and you might say, all right, here's an example. Well, my patient's already taking 500 micrograms of methylcobalamin, and she's been doing that for a year. Yeah, so this is not going to be helpful. I want to increase it. So you might go in there and alter the formula and, make it 1,000 micrograms, for example. You might say, yes, this patient was taking a fairly decent multivitamin mineral, and that actually contributed to a pretty decent nutrient status for the number of nutrients. However, you might say, well, I'm going to have them set that multivitamin mineral aside for maybe whatever reason. Maybe there's something in there that you prefer that they're not getting, maybe beef gelatin, for example. Maybe they reacted to beef. So you might take those nutrients that you'd be asking the patient to set aside, and then you might decide to add it to the formula. So those are all things that, we really wanted to make sure that you as a practitioner could go to the VitaminLab portal and adjust the formula and make it what you want. So this is just a guide here. You can choose to use it. And it's just a start, remember. So make the formula what you would like.
Thank you, Amy. That was such a good description. Thank you.
So welcome.
Okay, so here's the problem that VitaminLab is solving for. So you've run this fantastic test with your patient. You get these results, and you're sitting there like, oh my goodness, do I have to prescribe my patient 8 different products? How the heck am I going to find all of these doses and all of these different products? It's, that would take a tremendous amount of time. So literally with one click, you can click here and you are in the VitaminLab portal. And once you're in here, you can see the product is populated right there for you. You can make edits as you need to in here. If you want to change the alpha lipoic acid dose, you can do so. But I'm going to rewind a little bit. I want to start off by saying you don't have to memorize anything I'm saying, because we have Sarah, we have Christina, who will walk you through the portal, set up a demo with us. They will get to know you and your unique practice and how you like to prescribe and how you like to test. And we will customize an experience for you. So I will run through things, but again, Our hope is if you're not working with us, like please book a demo. It's completely free. You have nothing to lose. Spend some time with Sarah and Christina and get familiar with what we have to offer. So with VitaminLab, because we're making customized supplements, we need a little bit of a stretch of time. And quite frankly, if you're treating a patient, oftentimes you need a stretch of time to work with them. So for between 60 days to 180 days supply, 6 months supply, you're going to choose that for your patient. You can decide if you want refills or not. If you just want it to be automated, the patient can pick up another product, fine. If you want to retest and do another CNA, no refills, they'll come back in and test with you, which is another good thing about VitaminLab. When you do the test, you get the product, they take it for a period of time. Naturally, they do the test, they get another product. It's just a feedback loop. It just makes sense. So at VitaminLab, we have our veggie capsules, certainly, but we understand there's patients with dysphagia. There are patients that want to mix the powder in with their smoothies. So we do offer that option as well. And you can get a nice little berry flavor in there. So it tastes great. And our portal, it's easy to use. Like we do have things organized by condition. We built out protocols for you. You want a sleep protocol, you want a men's multivitamin. We have done the research. We have an incredible team of nutritionists who will dive into the research and figure out dosages and all of that good stuff, which is why we actually have standard dosages for you, because let's be honest, it's very, very difficult to remember the standard dose of ashwagandha, like who knows, right? So we have the standard research dose for you. We have the highs and lows for you. So if you stay within this reference range, sometimes doctors are nervous, like, am I prescribing too much? Am I not prescribing enough? So we give you a little reference range here. We also, like in this case, if there's boswellia, and maybe you're not a herbalist, maybe you just work with nutrients, but okay, boswellia has been recommended. I don't know anything about boswellia. Well, we do have basically like kind of like a handout, I guess you could say, natural medicines database, which in my opinion is like, if you, particularly if you buy the practitioner one, the paid account, it's about $200 a year. You get all of the relevant research, contraindications, how effective it is. So this is the consumer report. So you can purchase the rest if you want to, but at least you have some medication interactions. I know that's something that our product team is constantly working on as well. So we really try to make it easy for you to prescribe. Again, if you don't want carnitine for some reason, you can nix it. If you don't want pine bark, you can nix it. And the pricing, I do want to describe the pricing. Again, you don't have to memorize this. You can do an onboarding session with us. But we do work a little differently. So just to be, straight up about that, we have a monthly retail price. So we can bill your patient on a monthly basis. We ship them all the supplement, but they pay per month. And we have a wholesale cost where you can purchase the product and resell it to the patient. You can mark up as much as you want. Monthly retail price on average is about 25% margin. Wholesale cost, sky's the limit. You can charge exactly however much your heart desires. The pricing, sometimes we get questions about pricing being a little bit high, but again, like, best of luck to you finding these supplements in individual bottles. Like, that will be costly. So, and patients do understand that this is a bespoke product. This is a custom product just for them. So if they can't afford it, we understand some people can't, but if they can, this is a great option. Like, people will pay for convenience and not having supplement fatigue, etc. So yeah, that's a little bit about our portal. We've got lots of great resources here. But again, our hope is really that you'll be booking in to get a demo with us so that we can show you exactly what we can do. Okay, so back to our slides. Okay, so thank you, Amy, for explaining how it works. Hopefully you get a little bit of sense of how easy it is. With literally one click, you can have a full supplement built for you, and you don't have to sit there and try to piece things together, which is not a great use of your time. It's not. You're too busy for that. Okay, so case studies. We're dealing with real patients, so we need case studies. So this is how, very thankfully, we've had some case studies donated to us from the doctors that work with us. So this is just how the integration has worked for patients. And, I tried to pick cases that probably a lot of us have seen. So in case study one, I have my thyroid meds don't work. Okay, and this is, pretty much all of us have seen a patient like this. So 39-year-old woman diagnosed with hypothyroidism. She presents to you, she's tired all the time. She has hair loss, and despite increasing her thyroid medication. And I will say, from my personal experience, hair loss, although it seems superficial, is really, really distressing for women, probably for men too. But there's just like, they'll cry in your office. Like, you will get the tissue box ready because it is stressful. If you can help somebody with their hair loss, they're your patient for life, okay? And her doctor says her TSH is fine. Again, very common. Patients that come to functional medicine physicians, oftentimes they've been told that you're fine. There's nothing really wrong with you. Like your blood work checks out, right? But they know in their heart of hearts, they're not fine. And those are the people that we're helping. She has a strong family history of osteoporosis. She broke her ankle last winter, but she doesn't feel like it's healing well. She's only 39, but she just feels like old. She feels tired. She feels like she's losing her hair and she's in pain. So that combination right there. And again, very typical functional medicine patient. They are not showing up to us with one concern. They're not showing up to us because they have hangnails or a headache every 6 months or something. No, we get the complex cases where they have multiple things going on. So what I love about micronutrient testing and supplementation is it really gets at the root cause and you can shift things in the right direction. So we won't go through her full results. That's not necessary, but we can pull out. And as Amy alluded to, you want to be looking for themes, right? That kind of makes sense with your patient. And sometimes you can even delete ingredients and really focus in on what you think is going to move the needle for this particular individual. So in this case, she was functionally deficient or insufficient for iron, iodine. Okay, well, that's a disaster right there. If she's persistently fatigued and she's losing her hair, like, whoa, let's fix that ASAP, right? Strontium, which we need for healthy bones, that was compromised as well. And then, we have our B vitamins that were compromised. So NADH, FAD, like we need this for energy production. Absolutely. Vitamin C for collagen production. We need these things to be, particularly if you're healing from a condition. It's one thing if you're cruising and life is great, but if you're healing from a condition, you can't really afford to be insufficient in any of these things. So she took her supplement, she retested in 6 months. This is what her supplement overall looked like. And I want to point out this as well, iodine, 150 micrograms, iron, 25 milligrams. So these aren't skyrocketing doses. This is 150 micrograms. I'm pretty sure that's the RDA for iodine. So we can move the needle, particularly because we use active forms at VitaminLab. So we can move the needle we don't have to megadose people, and we can help people feel better. It's just hitting the nail on the head. Getting exactly, not throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping for the best, right? We want to know exactly what we're doing. So we can see again, and patients love this. Oh my gosh, if you can show a patient a lab result and show them 6 months later, you got better. Like we are in the business of patient experience, whether we like it or not. And that is a good patient experience to objectively see you're feeling better, but to also objectively see that you are improving. That's amazing. So iron, insufficient, sufficient. You guys can see what's happening here from borderline to sufficient. Okay, case study number 2. I gain weight if I even look at a carb. Okay, we all have these patients too, and God bless them. They are so frustrated. And a lot of times when patients show up at our door for functional medicine, they're no fools, okay? They have been researching things. They listen to the podcast, they read the books, they join the groups, they've been at all the exercise classes. Like, we do not get the easy cases. We do not. I would love it if we did, but we don't. So she's 62 years old and she's eating a healthy Mediterranean diet. She's a good cook. She knows what she's doing, but she's in a pre-diabetic. Do you know how discouraging that is to be doing the right thing and your hemoglobin A1C comes back high, your HOMA IR score comes back high? Like, that's so frustrating. And you have these friends, we all have those friends that can just eat all the fettuccine Alfredo and cookies and cake and they don't gain a pound. But here you are eating your salad and your little rice bowl, your little kale salad bowl, and you're still gaining weight, something like that. So with this particular woman, we can see carnitine levels were insufficient. Well, okay, so she's not metabolizing fatty acids, getting them into the mitochondria for energy production, chromium levels. So she's not as sensitized to insulin as she possibly could be. And leucine, a branched chain amino acid. And certainly with our patients in our 60s and plus, we want to be maintaining their muscle mass. That's critical for longevity. So again, we're having these issues here. So correcting that is fine. I feel like my camera just turned off. No idea why. Let's try that again. Okay, we're back. Little tech glitch there. So, okay, so right here, even this product alone, carnitine, chromium, leucine, very unique, or maybe some other branched chain amino acids. So we can really help people with this type of stuff. So again, she had a more thorough formula, Astragalus, that's such a great addition. And, I love Astragalus personally, it's just good for immunity and vitality. So, okay, so chromium, move that in the right direction. Carnitine, move that. Leucine, move that. So again, it just makes sense to patients. You can show them, it's color-coded, that can be easier to read. So, and again, you made the formula with a click of a button. You can edit it if you want, but you didn't have to spend 20 minutes trying to cost compare, different product, ingredient compare. Like, you don't have time for that. With the antioxidant protection assay, Amy, did you want to speak to this? But really, I think the essence of it is right here. I don't know if Amy's with us, but
Sure. Sorry, I had myself muted. So yeah, this was a really wonderful improvement by, so the first assay was telling us that, what glutathione, astragalus, and alpha lipoic acid were going to be protective. That was included in the formula. So the redox score went from a 69, which was really poor, and jumped it up to a great score of 94. So the second test, the patient only lost 6% of the cells. The cell specimen only went down 6% in that particular assay. So great improvement there.
Really good. And when we're thinking about longevity and just protecting our patients' well-being, like certainly we want to make sure from a cardiovascular perspective, from an immunity perspective, that their antioxidant status is as good as it possibly can be. And so to know, because we all know there's a zillion different antioxidants out there, how do you pick one? How do you pick one? I don't know. I have at least 50 probably on my shelves at work. So you pick one like this, you test and you find out. And even this is such a unique product. Even if it didn't have all the other nutrients, even glutathione, astragalus, and alpha lipoic acid, I don't know that I've seen that unique combination together. So even there, you're making very unique products. Your patients can't find this on Amazon. Good luck to them if they try to Google these products. They will not find it. And that is what makes you their go-to practitioner, because they know this person really has my back. They're really looking out for me. I test, I assess. They're trying to get to the root cause of my problems. They're really hearing me. It's just it's a way to cultivate a very special relationship, which is, what I really care about as a practitioner. I'm sure you do too. So our hope is that, again, you will sign up for a demo with Sarah or Christina and really get familiar with the VitaminLab process. You're probably already familiar with the CNA. So really with a click, we were talking about it before, it's peanut butter and jelly, it's rice and beans, it just goes together. We're going to give you 10% off as well with this code. We'll do a follow-up email, so you don't have to write down this code. You can, but you don't have to. And we also do a $100 sign-up credit. So if you yourself want to formulate something and just test out our product, see how you like it as a practitioner. A lot of us won't prescribe unless we'll take it ourselves. So, okay, we give you a $100 credit because we believe in our product. We're happy to have you try our product. So yeah, I really hope you'll sign up for our demo with Sarah or Christina. You can get us at getvitaminlab.com/practitioner. I don't know if we have any, we have some questions. Okay.
I think that Eugenie actually had her hand raised.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen the hand raising before. That is a new feature for me. Okay.
I'm just going to allow her to talk now to see if that works. Connecting with microphone. It might just take a second. Otherwise, I think all the chat questions have been addressed.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. Hi, Eugenie.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
So because I really like the fact that the 62-year-old woman was looking at carbs and gaining weight, how was she able to, did that formula help her to lose weight after she started taking it as well?
Yeah, she was improved. Again, this wasn't my particular patient, so I can't give you, she lost 7 pounds in such amount of time, but we really asked practitioners to submit cases that they felt were representative of real improvements, of real patients that we were able to move the needle on. That was really important to us. So yes, she was improved in her metabolism. Of course, I'm sure she was still a little bit insulin resistant. Some people genetically have that, but yes.
Okay, great. Because weight loss, as you know, is a really big issue with most women, especially as they age.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to choose cases that were relatable, I guess. We've pretty much all seen that woman, I'm assuming, if you've been in practice for any length of time. So yes, thank you for that question.
Thank you.
There's another question from Stephanie. She's wondering if the formulas are just encapsulated or powders. So once you log on to your VitaminLab portal, you'll see that we do have, here, let me turn on my camera so you can see me chatting here. Yeah, Lydia can show us. You do have the option to choose your dose type. So we have two options, veggie capsules or powder. And with powder, we have natural berry flavor or no flavor. So you do have the option to choose either for each individual formula that you're creating for your patients. And then there was another question from Christy.
Sarah, I just want to chime in there. Like, we really have your back when it comes to formulating. We want your products to be awesome. We want your patients to feel better. So we even have little warnings here where if the flavor may be a little off in the powder, we will let you know. And we have such a strong lab and formulary team that if we see an order come through and we're like, this is really not going to taste good, we will reach out to the practitioner and just double check that they wanted it as a powder. Thanks.
Yeah, really important that your patient is going to actually take the formula. So we put some little warnings in place to make sure that you're not creating a formula that will be unpalatable there. And if you're ever, questioning it, you can always use our chat function as well. We have great nutritionists that are online there during business hours that can answer your questions pretty quickly. All right. So Christy had a question about how to sign up for Cell Science Systems and get the 50% off the CNA test. Amy, did you want to answer that question?
Sure. So the way to start an account with Cell Science Systems is you would go to connect.cellsciencesystems.com, and that will take you to the CSS practitioner portal. And it'll be, you just start an account as a practitioner, create your username and password, and they'll show you how to fill out. You'll fill out an account activation form on that portal. It's it's well explained on the portal. And then this, just like VitaminLab customer service and everyone in VitaminLab is so helpful. The customer service team at Cell Science Systems is extremely helpful too. So they're on the chat on the portal all the time. So when you create your account, if you have any questions, they'll be happy to answer anything that you have or anything that you need. But you'll be able to get a 50% off voucher as a new practitioner, and that'll go toward 50% off the practitioner pricing for any and all of the CSS tests. So yes, cellular nutrition assay for sure, but also the ALCAD and the methyl detox profile, the celiac, IBS, Crohn's array, any of the tests that are offered as a new practitioner, you get 50% off for self-testing. So there'll be a voucher on there, and you would ask the customer service team to send you that voucher. When you get your test kit and you collect a specimen, you would put that voucher in with your requisition and test kit, and then you'll only get charged 50%.
Other questions? Okay. Yeah, I love that point too. Like on the VitaminLab end, if you need customer support, you're speaking to nutritionists right off the bat. As soon as you start the chat, you're speaking to nutritionists who know how to formulate, who know about our ingredients. They are an incredible team. So we're really here to support you and implement this well. Our training is excellent. Sarah's amazing at what she does. Like we really have your back and want you to be successful and feeling confident in your formulas.
Agree.
Okay, awesome. There's no other questions. I guess we can end it for tonight, but you'll receive an email from us. Let's just share this with your coupon code, $100 credit, and get signed up for a free demo. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.